Digital Wonder presents the 12 downsides of being an INFJ. Number 1. People pleasing. INFJs are known to help others at the drop of a hat. It's because of their innate ability to see the potential in others and perceive their true nature. This is generally a good thing, but sometimes the other person can't be helped. It can be because the other party refuses the help, or maybe the only way to help them is way out of the capabilities of the INFJ. Even when the reason is completely out of the INFJ's control, they still feel like it's their fault they weren't able to make the other person happy. When this need to please backfires, INFJs can feel burnt out or even resent the person they are trying to help. Number 2. They're hard on themselves. INFJs are perfectionists. Whilst this can lead to them completing great feats, it can also become a crippling fear. Perfectionists, as their name implies, refuse anything less than absolute perfection. For example, most people feel that a 98% test score is more than adequate. For the perfectionist INFJ, however, they might criticize themselves for that 2% they got wrong. Why exactly did they get that question wrong? And how could they be better next time? This perfectionist nature also leads INFJs to constantly look at their past actions and analyze them. This is, of course, a good thing, unless it's brought to the extreme. When that happens, it means INFJs are never happy about who they are. This can lead to an unending exercise that leads to nowhere. Sometimes, INFJs need to recognize that there are simply things that are out of their control, and that it's okay for things to just be good enough instead of absolutely perfect. Number 3. Exhausted by emotions. One of the characteristics of INFJs is their high empathy. This is due to their ability to understand other people and see them for what they are, not what they present. Their high empathy can lead them to truly feel the emotions of others. While this is great for helping others out, it can be quite draining to feel other people's emotions. Sometimes, this can lead to INFJs having multiple feelings about certain situations, their own feelings and the feelings of others. If the INFJs aren't equipped to separate their own feelings from the feelings they picked up from others, it can lead to confusion. If the feelings are particularly strong, it can be very exhausting to the INFJs, leading to unwanted repercussions. Number 4. Bottled up emotions. Though they are very eager to help others in need, they don't feel like they should bother other people with their own problems. Why should INFJs inconvenience other people with their feelings when other people already have so many things they have to deal with? Because of this, INFJs keep bottling up their emotions within themselves. But the thing about bottles is that there's only so much they can hold. There are only so many emotions humans can hold within themselves before everything explodes. Usually, this explosion can get pretty ugly and pretty much unavoidable. It also doesn't help that once they've let out all the emotions they've been holding, they feel extremely guilty about unleashing their bottled-up feelings on other people. INFJs need to remind themselves that it's okay for them to have feelings and to talk about them with others. Number 5. Coming off as clingy. INFJs are extremely loyal once they've entered into a relationship with others. This is combined with their need to help out others. They are always looking to make sure that their loved ones are happy and satisfied. They'll constantly ask others if they are okay or if there's anything they can do for them. While the intention is good, not everyone is receptive to this type of behavior. This constant attention might come off as badgering or clingy. Because of this, INFJs need to check in with themselves and with their loved ones if their behavior is acceptable. Number 6. Prone to overthinking. As introverts, INFJs are very introspective and often question who they are as a person. This introspective nature is good for self-growth. But when done too much, it can lead to negative consequences. It might start as a simple question, but due to overthinking, this will lead to more and more questions. These questions can lead to a spiral that leads to them questioning their own existence. Why are they even on this earth to begin with? And if they don't know why they exist in this world, why even try to do anything? This existential crisis of overthinking can dampen any enthusiasm they may have for any project or job they're about to embark on. Number 7. They cry easily. As INFJs are empathetic, they are very prone to sudden bouts of intense feelings. This can manifest in randomly crying at the most inopportune moments. In general, crying is healthy and normal because it's a much-needed release of emotions. Having said that, there are certain situations where crying might not be the best course of action, like in the middle of a grocery store or during a work meeting. Maybe a random memory enters your mind, or you hear a song that makes you feel sad, and suddenly you find yourself bawling out of nowhere. It can be embarrassing for the INFJ and even inconvenience other people. Number 8. They can seem strange. INFJs are considered as the rarest personality type, with 1 to 3% of the population falling into this category. This is one of the reasons why INFJs' behavior can seem so strange to others. INFJs can seem unpredictable because others can't always predict their feelings. As introverts, they also spend a lot of time by themselves, connecting with their own feelings. They need personal space and time alone to recharge. To others, this might come off as being aloof, which is not a desirable trait when seeking a relationship. So eventually, others might come to understand the true nature of INFJ's behaviors. It can be difficult at the beginning of the relationship. Number 9. They need to plan. I think we can agree that planning things is usually a good thing. A planned event will often be better than one that's completely improvised. But when everything must be planned, it can hinder instead of help. As planners, INFJs need to plan every aspect of their lives, from what clothes they will wear to what they will eat throughout the day. The downside of planning comes when there's no flexibility at all to the plans. Even the best planner can't predict the future, and sometimes things happen that are completely out of anyone's control. When even one thing does not fit an INFJ's plan, they can spiral into a panic, unable to do anything at all. This inability to be flexible is a major downside to INFJ's tendency to plan. Number 10. They overanalyze everything. INFJs like to think. They think about what they are saying. They think about what other people are saying. They think about how they write their messages and how they present themselves to the world. They also think about how they are perceived by others. They're always analyzing every single exchange they've ever had, and that's very exhausting. Overanalyzing things can prevent INFJs from trying new things or from sharing their feelings because they're afraid of offending someone. It can also lead them to waste their time. For example, worrying how exactly they should word a simple text message. Something that should only take a few seconds can take minutes because they're writing and rewriting what they need to say. Number 11. They attract people with issues. Because of their understanding nature, it's pretty common for INFJs to become the friends people go to when they're in trouble. INFJs use their ability to give advice to others, and they're good at it too. But the problem is when a relative stranger just starts opening up about all their deepest, darkest secrets to you. INFJs can give off an aura of understanding, which makes others drop their guard when around them. But for INFJs themselves, it can be really weird for someone they just met to talk about their deep personal problems. Would you like it if someone comes up to you and after 2 sentences starts talking about their abandonment issues? They can often get used by toxic people who just want to dump their problems on the INFJ. Number 12. They can be too honest. INFJs do give great advice, but they might not be the best at communicating that advice. INFJs are able to see the truth of the situation. Because of that, sometimes the advice given might not be the advice the other person wants to hear. Sometimes, people go to their friends to be told what they want to hear. INFJs will not do that. They will tell you if you're the one in the wrong and need to make amends. Usually, people will eventually realize that the advice given by INFJs is the right course of action. But at the moment, it might be hard to hear. It can come off as harsh and judgmental. It never comes from a bad place, but it can still come off as harsh. Subscribe and turn on notifications so we can continue to make videos like this. Be sure to check out this playlist of our top videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care!